And then, of course, it became the Prime Minister's top priority in relation to his Attorney General in September, as soon as that Criminal Code amendment became law. All of a sudden, it was a panic. She had to be called in on the carpet to answer for the clerk and the Prime Minister about why she hadn't moved with haste to direct the Director of Public Prosecutions to extend this settlement offer to SNC Lavalin. The company was concerned. It was telling the clerk of the Privy Council and others about a board meeting that would come up on September 20th, only days away. Can't you get us off of these fraud and bribery charges within the next week? We've got a board meeting, for God's sakes. How are we supposed to do business? You know? And of course, the right answer that a normal Prime Minister would give if a corporation came in and made such a demand would be, get out of my office. Right. Go to court. If you think you did nothing wrong, defend your case and get acquitted. But I don't want to see you around here ever again. That would have been the right answer. But the Prime Minister just kept inviting them back again and again. Come on back. We're doing everything we can for you. We just have this one problem. This one problem we have with our Attorney General. And here she is, getting in our way, mucking up our plans. We had set it up so that SNC could just get off without trial. We even amended the criminal code to make it possible for this one company. And we've got this nuisance Attorney General who won't just play ball. Well, she's got a few months to get it done, or we're going to move her out. And that's exactly what they did. They sent her packing because she wouldn't play ball. Shame. The old boys told her how things were going to work, and she says, no, where I come from, we have the rule of law, and it doesn't work that way. And so they said, unfortunately, you're no longer the Attorney General. And they found someone perhaps more malleable. Now, Prime Minister says that decision had nothing, the cabinet shuffle had nothing to do with her refusal to cooperate and give a deal to SNC Lavalin. But here's what we know for sure. When she was the Attorney General, the answer to SNC Lavalin's request for a settlement was no. It was a clear no. She looked at the act, she looked at the decision of the prosecutor, and she said, it ain't gonna happen, period. So the status of that request was no. The new Attorney General's come in, and you know what his public position is on it? Maybe. So by moving the Attorney General out and moving a new one in, SNC Lavalin has gone from no to maybe. And the Prime Minister would have us believe that his decision had nothing to do with that issue. Of course it did, and of course it has had the consequence of reopening the possibility that this company, charged with stealing $130 million from the poorest people in the world, might get off without a trial. That is the effect of the cabinet shuffle. The Prime Minister can deny that that was his intention, but it is definitely the effect. And you really have to wonder why this government is so obsessed with helping this one company get around the rules and avoid consequences. There are thousands of trials in Canada every year. People are charged all the time with crimes. Why this particular company? Why this particular group of well-lobbied for executives? Could it possibly have something to do with $100,000 of illegal donations that the company flowed to the Liberal Party of Canada?
Might be part of it.
Those donations were funneled through phony invoices, phony bonuses, and phony expense claims in a systematic fraud designed to move cash into Liberal Party coffers. And that has absolutely nothing to do with the decision. And I hear the deputy leader of the Liberal Party, the deputy House leader of the Liberal Party, blaming Stephen Harper. It's Stephen Harper's fault that SNC Lavalin gave illegal donations to the Liberal Party. Stephen Harper must have somehow carried out mind control to force all of these executives to ask their employees to generate phony expense claims and phony bonuses and phony invoices so that they could give the money to the employees, and then those employees would then give those donations to the Liberal Party. And then Stephen Harper then must have done mind control over the Liberal Party officials who received all of those donations and thought nothing unusual of them. It must have been Stephen Harper's incredible power of mind control that he was able to do that. I have to give that member across the way some points for creativity. You have to give him some points for creativity. That is the later. First it was Scott Bryson's fault, now Stephen Harper's fault. But you know what? Okay, you know what? I admit it. It was Stephen Harper's fault. Let me tell you why. You got me onto another train of thought, right? Okay, back in the sponsorship scandal, the Liberal Party was never prosecuted, even though they admitted they received $1 million of illegal money. It was funneled in what the Judge Gomery called an elaborate kickback scheme. Harper was always just a wee bit suspicious about why no one in the Liberal Party actually got prosecuted for it. And so he thought, maybe it's because the Attorney General is a Liberal politician and that Attorney General controls prosecutions. Maybe we should make the prosecutor independent from the political process. And that is why we in the Accountability Act, created the Director of Public Prosecutions, a completely separate office wherein decisions to pursue prosecutions of federal crimes are made with no politics involved. Right. So independent is this office that the director cannot even be removed by the executive without a vote in the House of Commons. Yeah. So they have the same. The process for removing a director is the same as for other officers of Parliament, right? So he created this office, and he said in the Accountability Act, the only way that an Attorney General can direct the DPP to change course in any prosecution is in writing. They have to write it down, and they have to publish that direction in the Canadian Gazette. Right. So every Canadian has the ability to see what direction the politicians are trying to give to the prosecutor. No more backroom deals. And it's because of that act that the Prime Minister couldn't secretly exert pressure on the prosecutor and prevent that and allow that political interference to go ahead. So yes, it is Stephen Harper's fault. He's the one that brought in the Accountability Act, the very first act of his government, and because of that, this Prime Minister got caught once again trying to help his friends and trying to violate the rule of law.